guided by a highly advanced and integrated paradigm that he has developed for the physical and social sciences. Muhammad Amin confronted the grave issue of AIDS. In 1989, he wrote a study entitled AIDS, The Quest for an Antidote, in which he elucidated on the causes of the disease, as well as the possibility of isolating an antidote.
During the month of February of the year 2003, an international conference on AIDS was held in New Delhi. The conference concluded that the causes of AIDS are not necessarily limited to the known HIV virus. Environmental factors are also responsible for the disease. If such is the case, I like to ask, what do the conference mean by the term environment? And what is the relationship between such an environment and AIDS? If this relationship is not explained, then nothing is proven. A fundamental procedure step that has guided my research since 1972 is to distinguish between what biologists designate as genotype and phenotype. No one can claim that AIDS is genotypic. The acronym AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Please underline the word acquired thousands of times, for it is inserted here to distinguish between this type of immune deficiency and that which is due to genetic makeup. If AIDS is not genotypic, can it be phenotypic? If the answer is yes, then how?
The term genotype refers to the development of an organism from genetic makeup. These are the genetic blueprints we all inherit from our parents. Phenotype refers to the development from environmental actions. There are three categories of environment. First, there is the physical environment, the land, the water, and the air. Second is the biotic environment, the world of plants and animals. And lastly, the population environment, referring to the effects on the individual from the population starting at birth, continuing throughout life, and finishing at death. All three categories of environment are intertwined. The physical and biotic environments build the structure of the population environment. And once the structure is in place, the population environment will exert influence over the other two, which tends to manifest dramatically in the case of humans. The structure that comprises the population environment is what we define as culture. Culture simply means a way of life based on the production and exchange of goods and services. This becomes the environmental boundary that human beings exist in. In order to understand the concepts presented in this film, we must understand evolution as one half of an entire system, with disevolution comprising the other half. These two processes are not incidents occurring within a single moment in time, but in fact series of steps that take place over a given period of time. Evolution and disevolution exist in conjunction with each other and share an inverse relationship. At this point, it must be stressed that one cannot exist in absence of the other. Where there is evolution, there exists disevolution. And likewise, where there is disevolution, there exists evolution. These processes are measured in terms of propensity. Where the propensity to evolve is greater than the propensity to disevolve, the system will evolve. And conversely, where the propensity to disevolve is greater than the propensity to evolve, the system will disevolve. All things within the observed universe undergo processes of evolution and disevolution. When matter evolves, it transforms into animate matter. And when matter disevolves, it transforms into inanimate matter. In terms of life, it will succeed when it evolves, and fail when it disevolves. Just as matter evolves and disevolves, so too will the socio-cultural environment. A culture will undergo processes of evolution if its propensity to evolve is greater than its propensity to disevolve, with the opposite being the case for cultural disevolution. The population sets the boundaries for cultural evolution and disevolution. Where the population environment is evolving, the culture will develop and thrive through its fundamental properties of knowledge, technology, and social organization. Where the population environment is disevolving, the culture will recess and decay through these same properties. Through its fundamental properties, a culture in effect will modify the population's physiology as well as its socio-cultural relationships, which are both defined in terms of propensity. These modifications interact with one another and have an effect on each other. In a disevolving culture, the population's physiology as well as its socio-cultural relationships are modified recessively. When this occurs, the population will become both physiologically and culturally ill. And like a contagious plague, the dying culture will spread its illness to other societies in contact with it, who then become vulnerable to extinction. The relationship between physiological and socio-cultural modifications, which can also be described as hormones and property respectively, is fundamental to the understanding of AIDS.
As far as I am concerned, AIDS is no more than recessive physiological modification introduced by the population environment, a phenotype. The mechanism in the environment responsible for the introduction of the disease, the processes involved, and how such processes affect physiological functions, as well as the possibility of isolating an antidote to the disease, all have been identified and can be explained. And that is a statement of science.